Oh, hello there. Well, it's winter time. You might as well cozy up next to the fireplace, grab you a cup of hot chocolate, and enjoy this season of Cooking with Daniel, featuring Judge Joe once again. Welcome everyone to episode 2 of season 3 holiday edition of Cooking with Daniel. I am of course Chef Daniel, and today we're going to be making shepherd's pie for Judge Joe, a very Christmas themed dish. So in today's episode, we're going to start off by getting our mashed potatoes ready. So for those that don't know exactly what shepherd's pie is, we are going to be making it today by putting some ground lamb and baking it with some mashed potatoes on top. So to get those mashed potatoes ready, we're just going to go ahead and put in our water here on top of those diced potatoes. Just make a nice covering of them, just like that. And then turn up the heat a little bit, and we're going to get the oven preheating. We're going to set it at 400 degrees today. So 400. And we're going to get to that after it's done preheating, and we're going to get the veggies. We have some carrots, English peas, and corn ready to go. That's going to be as well as the ground lamb, of course. So stay tuned, and I think today is going to be a great episode. All right, so now we're going to be getting our half and half and butter ready to go. So I have 6 ounces of butter here with a 1/4 cup of our half and half. And so I'm just going to be sticking this in the microwave for today's episode. Kind of getting it ready, getting that butter nice and melted in there to mix it in. So, going to give that about 30 seconds in the microwave or so. And then after that, our potatoes are looking like they're getting ready to go into the bowl to be mashed. The water is boiling right now. And just give it another couple of minutes, and they should be nice and super soft. And once they are, we'll put them in a bowl and mash them just like last episode, which you can check out at the top corner of your screen right now. And be sure to check that out, as I made an amazing shrimp scampi for Judge Joe that he loved. So after that, we'll be throwing in our ground lamb and getting it ready to go with the veggies. Alright guys, so now it's time to get our veggies ready to saute. So, oh, that's a beautiful sound when we put that in there, just to hear that nice little sizzle. So we're going to throw in, once again, we got carrots, English peas, and corn kernels in here. So we're going to be throwing those in there, and we're going to be stirring those up right here. Get those ready, nice and sauteed. Get them looking nice and ready to go for the next part, which is going to be adding the lamb to that once those get nice and ready to go. And we're also going to be throwing in some of our chopped garlic as well. So I'm really excited to see how these turn out, and we'll go from there. And our potatoes are getting ready. They are getting nice and soft over here. Just going to check them with our fork. And they need just about another 30 seconds to a minute, and they'll be good to go. I'm really excited about those as well. I can't wait to get them mashed again and get those ready to go. Alright, so now our potatoes have gotten ready for mashing. So we're going to bring it over here to this bowl, and we're going to be throwing them in there just like this. They look beautiful and ready for mashing. Nice and super soft. So now, set this up as always, because we want to be clean around here in the kitchen. So, the next part is going to be adding in the mixture that we had of half and half and butter that we had in the microwave for about 30 seconds or so. So we're going to throw that in and make these potatoes nice and beautiful. So now it's time to just get these going, make them super soft, super creamy, and delicious. And other than that, the next step is going to be finishing our veggies and throwing in the ground lamb after that. So I'm going to keep mashing these, so stay tuned for the rest. Alrighty, so now, as we've just finished mashing our potatoes, we're going to be throwing in our garlic into the pan. We're going to get about half of a tablespoon or so, just like that, and kind of spread it on around. And throw it in there just a touch more, just like that. Now, we're going to stir this around, give it a nice, good stir, get that garlic mixed in there very well. And after that, we're going to be doing the very fun part, and that is throwing in the ground lamb. So we have our ground lamb here. I've seasoned it with some pepper, some garlic salt, and some regular salt. Off, and we're just going to be throwing it on in there and getting it ready as well. So once that goes with that mixture, then we're going to be putting this in the oven for a little while and letting it cook in there. So now we're going to be putting some flour on top of the lamb and the veggies, kind of just like this. And we're going to put 2 full tablespoons of it right on top of that, just like that. And then once we do that, we're going to be mixing it all in, stirring to combine, and letting it cook for about another minute or so. And we're going to leave it on a little lower heat than we had it earlier. So we went from a 4 to a 2. So now we're just going to be kind of stirring in that flour, letting it get all over, and getting this ready to go in the oven. Our next step after this is done cooking for about another minute or so is going to be throwing in our sauces, our Worcestershire sauce, and our tomato paste as well that we're going to be throwing in. We're going to be throwing in some seasonings as well, and then it goes directly in the oven. Alrighty, so now we're going to be adding in some chicken broth. We have 1 cup measured out here, so we're just going to throw that all around there. And then we're going to be adding in some tomato paste. We're going to be using 2 teaspoons worth of tomato paste. Throw it in there just like that. Get approximately 2 teaspoons in there on our spoon just like that and into the pan. And then from there, we are going to be also adding in some Worcestershire sauce. And we're going to be adding in about 1 teaspoon of this sauce. So we're going to take our spoon here and add in just about a teaspoon's worth of Worcestershire sauce. And kind of mix it in there just a touch more and get that ready to go. We're going to give it a really good stir here in our pan and then get it ready to go into the oven. So now this has been simmering for just a couple minutes, and now we've just got it off the heat. And so we're going to bring this mixture over here and we're going to be putting it into our pan for baking. All I did to prep the pan was spray just a little bit of non-stick spray in the bottom of it. So we're going to make a really nice and even layer here in the bottom of our pan. We're going to throw it in there just like that. And once again, just a nice layer. Also, I went ahead and added in some rosemary and thyme seasonings for the mixture that we have here. And so that it'll give it some extra flavor as well. And that's just a really good idea. Cooking something like this, because in this dish, something like rosemary and thyme is a very good way to get some great seasonings through. So now that we have that nice and thick, even layer, we're going to be putting our mashed potatoes on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a spatula here, and we're going to take our mashed potatoes. We've mixed in an egg yolk to keep it nice and consistent and make it kind of sticky so that it goes over really well on top of our mixture here with the lamb. So we're going to be taking our spatula and placing it on top and making a nice even layer. We want to start with the corners here, so to make sure that it's nice and compact and doesn't create a bunch of bubbles and boil over, because we really don't want that to occur in the cooking process while it's in the oven. Once again, we're going to be at 400 degrees and it's going to cook for about 20 to 25 minutes until these mashed potatoes get nice and perfectly golden brown. So we're going to bring this over, kind of spread out those potatoes a little bit and get a nice even layer once again. Not as thick as the layer that we have with the meat mixture, but just a nice and even solid layer across the top. And once again, kind of starting at those edges and the corners and going inwards from there as you can. And so we're just going to finish getting this nice even layer. And then we are going to stick it in the oven, once again 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. And after that, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then it's ready to serve. Alrighty, so now everything is ready. We've made that nice thin layer of mashed potatoes on top of the mixture that we made from earlier. So now we're going to be opening our oven, and we're going to be setting this on the top rack. And once again, 400 degrees, 20 to 25 minutes. So we're going to be gently setting it on that top rack just like that. and getting it ready to go. And we're going to be leaving it in there and setting our timer. And I'm very excited to see how this turns out. We want those potatoes to be nice and golden brown on the top. It's been 25 minutes now, so we're going to be checking on our shepherd's pie here. And it's looking really nice. Those potatoes are getting to a nice golden color. So we do have a little bit of seepage there on the corners, which is quite unfortunate. But we're going to be letting this rest for a couple of minutes. And then we're going to be cutting out a section, most likely from this area, and using that as what we serve Judge Joe today. Make it look very nice and presentable for our dish today, and I'm very excited for that. All right, so it looks like the dish is ready to plate. So it's been resting for about 10 minutes now, a little less than that. And so we're going to be cutting in right here and getting a pretty nicely sized square for Judge Joe today. And I can tell that it kind of crusted up beautifully, and it feels great as I cut into that. So now we're just going to be using our spatula here to secure the cut and to make sure that it is ready to go. And I'm very excited to bring this to Judge Joe. And so we're hoping that it kind of stuck together and kind of molded together with that flour and the egg that we had in there throughout the mashed potatoes all the way down through the meat, the ground lamb. And as soon as we get this on the plate ready to go, we are going to get it to Judge Joe. So we're going to be plating it just like that. Although it fell apart a little bit, so it's going to need a little bit of touch-up work as well. We got to get some of the meat on there as well. So this is going to take a little bit of touch-up, and after that, we are going to get it to the judge. And so I'm going to continue plating this and making it look real nice for our judge today. And other than that, we are ready to serve. Good evening, Judge.
Hello, Chef Daniel.
Here you are.
What have you prepared for me?
Thank you for asking. So in today's edition of Cooking with Daniel, I have officially prepared for you shepherd's pie in a traditional sense from the English version of shepherd's pie, using ground lamb, peas, English peas, carrots, corn, and then a mashed potato layer on top.
Well, I don't believe I've ever had shepherd's pie or a ground lamb. So, this should be an experience. Let's get to tasting. See, the lamb presentation looks good. How'd you get that to hold together?
So the main thing that I used was flour, and then after I mashed the potatoes, I mixed in 1 egg yolk to help maintain that bind.
All right, let's give it a try. Wow. Tastes really great. I believe I like that lamb. Seasoned really nice. I tell you, I think my taste buds are going to use my tongue as a diving board and jump right into that. That is delicious.
Thank you, Judge.
I don't believe I could have had anything better today.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me for today's episode 2 of Cooking with Daniel Holiday Edition. I wanted to go for a very traditional English recipe today, and that was shepherd's pie. And I'm very thankful that Judge Joe enjoyed it so much, and I'm very excited to bring you guys episode 3 next Thursday at noon Central Time, because next Friday is Christmas. So I'm going to give you guys a Christmas Eve special episode, and it's going to be insanely awesome, and I can't wait for it because I'm going to make something completely insane that I'm very excited for you guys to see. So other than that, guys, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for the notifications so that you see that right when it comes out on Christmas Eve. And also, be sure to like down below and leave a comment with anything that you are looking forward to in the future with this series, or anything that you want me to cook in future episodes.
And it all starts now.